The Joe Rogan Experience.
When you do movies, do you just come up with a premise first? Like when you decide to do a film, like if you decide to do Happy Gilmore, how do you like make your movies? How do you start?
That was just lucky premise. Billy Madison, I remember. I thought, oh, this could be great. A grown up who does elementary school again, and that's a great idea of. I get to be goofy, get to bully these little kids, then all of a sudden connect with these kids and have fun growing up again. So, but part of my head was like, well, Rodney did Back to School already, so everyone's going to say I just ripped off Back to School. Rodney went back to college. How the fuck do we kind of do it a step away from that? And I called my buddy Herlihy, who I went to college with, and he writes all the movies with me, or he's just a great, funny man, and I've written almost everything with him. And if he goes, ooh, that's good, then we usually go from there, and we try to fill it out after that. Same thing with Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, Bobby Boucher, all that shit. We were just like, came up with a couple of lines of what we thought is an interesting idea, and then see if we can fill it out.
It's so funny because your films get loved by the public and hated by critics. It's so hilarious. You are the lead. Like whatever the Rotten Tomatoes critic score is for your films means zero. It means nothing. Right. It's only the audience is what counts.
That's all we thought about. Yeah.
Because your films are all so fun and so silly and so, in my opinion, so underappreciated.
Thank you, man.
Because, like, this is one of the things that I thought about during COVID. It's like, we watched it every night. We
so
watched,
cool.
like, every film that you made while everything was locked down.
Amazing. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, my fucking, I don't know, man. We lucked out. We worked our asses off like you're working your ass off now. Like, this is took it very serious.
But you caught like a silly groove that I don't think anybody else has that silly groove like you do. Like you caught that groove with so many movies, man.
Yeah. We did. I mean, when I first started, Jim Carrey was crushing, Stiller, Mike Myers, a lot of goofy movies were getting made, and I certainly fucking love doing them. And I love being on set. Making those kind of movies. I love fucking editing that shit, thinking about kids laughing. I always loved that. Thinking of college kids throwing a tape in, sitting down, watching together. That was on our mind when we did it.
When you first started out, did you want to be a comic? Did you want to be a stand-up comic, or did you always think that you wanted to do films?
I think I wanted to get into the movies. I was fucking nuts, cocky as shit in my own weird way. I think a big thing that happened to me was I told my friends in high school I was going to be fucking big. And I didn't.
So you had to?
I had to do it. I told the boys, I was like, I'm going to be fucking great. And then when I would check in with them, I remember being on payphones, calling after even eating it at Catch a Rising Star. I call them, I fucking did good tonight, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I go, yeah. I said, what'd you say? I said, this Joe fucking killed. Meanwhile, I fucking ate it every time.
So you're faking it until you made
it. But I dug a hole for myself. Like, I'm doing great. Robin Williams said I was fantastic. Robin Williams, I remember one night saw me eat it. And I was just like, oh, man, I ate it in front of Robin Williams. But I changed the story of like, yeah, he liked that shit. Yeah.
There's something that can be very valuable about being delusional and being young.
Yes, very delusional. So stupid, man.
I did this thing once. Do you know Owen Smith?
Who the hell is
hilarious comedian in L.A. Mm-hmm. He had this. He's one of the best comics alive, but he spends a lot of time writing and doing shows.
I'm sure I know.
Unfortunately, which I think he should be headlining arenas. He was just at my club a few months back. I saw him. He's a monster. Gotcha. The point is, Owen had this show that he was doing for a while, where you'd find your oldest notebooks and sit down with him and go over your oldest jokes, and it was. So bad. It was like a 1991 joke book.
Yeah.
I keep them all.
Yeah.
And I was going through, we were reading it, and I was like, it's so bad. I had him like built-in heckler lines that I wrote that were terrible.
Right,
and this guy was saying this to me, and that. It's like, Oh,
that's so funny.
If I had to go back there and like give myself advice, I would say you got to quit. You're terrible at this.
Oh my God!
Don't do this.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
man?
don't do
you
this.
Sound atrocious.
You're not gonna make it. You don't have it.
Same thing.
There's no way.
But I fucking thought I was fucking phenomenal. But I would look out at the crowd, not laughing, going, "These guys fucking nuts. They don't see how great this shit is." But it's almost like I was with my fucking giant afro, and my father would be at the table and he'd be like, "You need a haircut?" I'd be like, "What are you talking about, man?" He'd be like, "You think you look good?" I'd be like, "I look great." He'd be like, "You don't. Just so you know, you don't look great." I'd be like, "You were so off on that day."
It's funny. Delusional thinking can sometimes carry you to the like. Once you develop some skill, that delusional is like a little guardian that like keeps you protected while you actually develop talent.
And that goes away because I'm more nervous now. Well, I had that fucking fear as a comedian. My head would spin when Colin Quinn. He had a club, the Paper Moon, in the city. Was the Paper Moon around when you were growing up? It was like at the Boston Comedy Club.
Like a small place like that?
I think that became Paper Moon became the Boston.
Oh, the same club?
Yes, I think it was downstairs.
Oh,
that
no
one
shit.
So fucking Colin liked me. He used to get me on stage. I was going to college around there, and I all day long would be practicing on the elevator in my dorm. I'd be going bah, 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 saying the shit. Right when Colin would bring me up, my fucking head would spin. I'd forget where I was, not making sense. I would say 2 jokes, and then I'd be like, "Oh my God, I don't know what's coming next." And I had that going for a while, but I still would go home at night and go, "Fucking, I'm gonna be so fucking good at this." I don't know what it was. Psycho.
It's youthful delusion. Yeah, and it's also your central lobe is not fully formed yet. You don't even understand the world. You're you're a little meat puppet.
My God, yeah.
Yeah, but that's how you make it. That's how you make it in kind of everything. Like you're delusional, you know?
Yes.
If you really believe in yourself, that counts for a lot.